Good evening. My name is Leah Scott. I'm the Parent Teacher Association President, one of two, as a matter of fact. Apologize for that. Just some quick ground rules as usual. I ask that if you can please hold off any questions or comments, add them into the chat section. I have a team that will be monitoring throughout the evening any questions that you may have, or of course, if Mr. Hoogenboom during his presentation asks if anybody has questions, by all means, you can definitely ask them. Please be respectful of one another. If anyone is disrespectful to a teacher or vice versa, thankfully, that has never happened. You will be automatically removed from the meeting and not allowed to come back. We will try to go and respect your time. I apologize that we are a few minutes late, but as stated before, I was just hoping that more people would come in. We are at quorum, so we're going to move on. Most of the people on are the PTA members as well as teachers. So I'll let everyone introduce myself again. My name is Leah Scott. I am one of the two co-chair presidents of the PTA. My son is in 11th grade, and he's also on the track team. There we go, outdoor track. Next, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George Jones. I'm the co-chair PTA president. My son is in the 10th grade, and he's working on being on the football team next season.
Nice.
Good evening. I'm Crystal Brown. I'm the vice president of the PTA. My son is in the 12th grade, and he currently is on the track and was on the football team.
Hi, everyone. Chris Sandor, co-treasurer. My son, Nick, is a 10th grader.
Who we're missing on this evening, and hopefully will be coming on in a bit, is Miss Sandor, who is our recording secretary. And we have Miss Attwood, who is the co-chair treasurer. And I believe I just skipped over Miss Hawley. Is that correct? Trying to be quiet there. Go ahead.
I'm Heather Hawley. I'm the corresponding secretary, and my daughter is a freshman.
Thank you very much. We'll start off with the school team. Of course, our gracious and awesome Mr. Hoogenboom. If you could please introduce yourself.
Hi, Ari Hoogenboom. I've been principal of Lincoln since 2004.
Mr. Capizzo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mr. Capizzo. I'm a 9th grade algebra teacher at Abraham Lincoln High School.
Thank you. And lastly, Ms. Jibril.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lena Jibril. I'm the parent coordinator at Abraham Lincoln.
Thank you so much. And most of the PTA is also on the SLT team. We have myself, Mr. Jones, Miss Brown, and Miss Attwood. Who isn't on this evening is Miss Alston and Miss Jones. We also have our Title I team, which is Miss Filbert and Miss Jones. So that's everybody for the PTA team, SL team, and Title I. Moving on. Miss Brown.
Oh, don't they look delightful? So for this month, we have the East Abraham Lincoln High School PTA's Easter giveaway. It's a basket full of, I did write that all down, right? And I don't have the list yet. I can recall. There's a lot of chocolates and different little, look at me looking, right? Skittle eggs and so forth. And there's some Bath and Body stuff in there as well. So there's 4 baskets that we plan to give away. I'm going to assign everyone a number. And I guess when we get further in, I'll let you know what your number is. As you're coming in, I'm giving you a number. And we're going to do the number wheel this time. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right, moving on. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Approval of the minutes. Ms. Hawley, by chance, do you have the minutes?
You're on the screen here. Yep.
And
I mean, I can find them real quick on my computer.
let me see if I can try to read them. I'm sorry if I'm coming in real tight. Okay. So we had last month, we had the principal do his address discussing the meeting of the school administration, which myself and the district high school principals, as well as the assembly member Frontis was on. We also discussed the school safety, violence that's going around in the subways, which hopefully, Mr. Hoogenboom, you'll discuss again what happened this week. Next slide. Sorry. I am so sorry. I can't read these.
I'll be.
I am so sorry. Hold on.
I can kind of read them.
Got it.
I
I
should
got
Got
it.
it?
Yep.
should note that these
My
are all,
head's a
of course,
bit
on the Lincoln
tilted.
webpage.
Okay. Then we also discussed some graduation information, vaccination, whether or not they were required. We also discussed the treasure report. We had teachers' corner where they were discussing the marking period. Discussing spring sports, the ENL tutoring, discussed the PSAT, SAT dates that occurred last month, as well as the secretarial report, which we did the bylaws change. And if I'm correct, that was approved at last month's meeting. And hold up. And the student ambassadors who visited math classes to promote SYEP. Did I miss any other highlights from last month's meeting? Okay, with that being said, does anybody would like to make a motion to accept these? I'm sorry, I was not as beautifully presenting it as Miss Sandor would have. So she'll scold me later on that.
Minutes are
A
on
motion.
PTA webpage.
Thank you. And also they are, thank you, Mr. Jones and Mr. Sandor. Yes, you are correct. If you want to review the full minutes, they are posted on the school website, PTA area, as well as all the previous months for this year. And we have a second as well that's in the chat. It was from Miss Tiffany. Thank you. All right, next slide. Mr. Hoogenboom, please go right ahead. And if you have any details about how the students reacted to what occurred earlier this week, I'd appreciate that input.
Yes, obviously we were all really shaken by the events on Tuesday morning. You know that these things happen, been happening throughout the country. Individuals acting out in these violent ways, and so it's going to happen somewhere. You just end up being shocked nonetheless when it happens so close to your home. We were very fortunate in that the N and the R trains, the 36th Street station doesn't really lead to Lincoln. So one of our students had gone down on the platform just when the people were on the wounded people were on the platform. And he came to Lincoln and he spent the entire day with the social worker. I'm so grateful for the social emotional supports that we have at our school. And he really spent all day sort of sitting in her office and processing what he saw. He didn't directly see the shooter or anything, but he saw wounded, panicked people on the platform. And it's something that you don't want anyone to have to see. So we had room 131 open the next day, Wednesday, for any student who was concerned, who wanted to go and talk. A few students did go, but by and large, I don't know, is this a positive or a negative? By and large, our students were fine. And, and I'm not sure if it's fine because they're resilient or if they're fine because they understand that the world can be such an awful place. I certainly hope they're fine because they're resilient. It certainly, I don't know about the rest of you. I was a mess the whole day. I had a lot of trouble focusing on my work. My mind was a jumble, going all over the place, and that's what these terrorists do. And even if it's an individual, any kind of mass shooting to me, seems to be a terrorist act. One of the chancellor's pillars is prioritizing wellness, and it's linked to student success. And I do want to just say how proud I am of the job that all Lincoln teachers do to promote check-ins where you ask the students how they are, to have these social emotional lessons. Because I think when something awful happens, our students do feel, by and large, they feel safe. They feel as if they're listened to. They feel as if they're valued at Lincoln, and that's all you want as a parent. Yes, you want your students to engage in academic excellence and all that, but you really want your child to be safe emotionally and physically. So I feel good about Lincoln. I feel very sad for our city. I take the subway every day. I'm still taking it, whether that's stubbornness or resilience, I don't know. But to me, the subway is actually where I relax. I enjoy it, and I enjoy occasionally running into students, and I enjoy not being worried about driving and traffic and stuff. And many New Yorkers, of course, need the subway for getting places. Back though to pillar 3 of the chancellor, prioritizing wellness. Last week, I hope your sons and daughters came back home and talked about this wonderful wellness fair that we had in the B gym. It was a great event. We had some outside groups, the YMCA, the police, the Army, the fire department, but we also had Lincoln teachers and social workers. Mr. O'Hanlon, phys ed teacher, was explaining how to make a salad, only instead of that Caesar salad, which has all that gook on it that makes the calories as bad as a hamburger, he was explaining a dressing that would taste really good, but not have anywhere near the calories. Mr. Nicholas was making these amazing parfaits that he was topping with whipped cream, which I didn't quite understand how that fit in with wellness. But I suppose the lesson is that, a little bit of moderation, right? You don't have to say no to butter or whipped cream, just don't use too much. It was an amazing fair. Mr. Gaskin was talking about fitness. It was a celebration, and everything that we're doing, it's like a rebirth, because the last wellness fair that we had was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm so happy to see things coming back. I know that the cases have gone up a little bit, and obviously we're concerned. Today we handed out rapid COVID tests to all students on dismissal, but we also urged them not to take it if they weren't going to use it. We last time we handed them out, we saw a number of them on Ocean Parkway. So we urged our students just to take them if they needed them, and so that they brought have to use them. They're the moms, the dads, the aunts, always use these tests also, and let's just keep our fingers crossed. The marking period has been pushed back. I hope you realize that as parents. So if your son or daughter hasn't done all the work for the marking period, they have until Monday the 25th to hand it in. And this brings us back to how high school is different, I hope, certainly it's different from when I went to high school, and I hope it's different from what the high schools that the rest of you attended. The punishment for not doing the work should be doing the work. And sometimes if you just give a student a 0 or a failing grade, oh, great, okay, you failed me, right? I can move on. I can, play video games now. No, the punishment for not doing the work is do the work. And so please urge the students to, it's not too late, do the work. And sometimes students get intimidated by the volume of it. And one homework assignment done is better than not one homework assignment done. So sometimes we have to start small. I also want to talk about how great this afternoon was. After we handed out COVID tests to everyone, I went out on the field, and that was before it started raining. Right now it looks pretty awful, but the baseball team was getting ready for the baseball game. The JV softball team, which started their game against Madison. The track team was busy practicing their starts, and it was a beautiful, beautiful spring day. Now, of course, like so many days in the spring, all at once we have thunder showers, but still, it seems as if we're finding the spring. It's going to be so normal. They're going to be Regents exams, and that's also something I don't want anyone to sweat over. Almost all of the students have waivers from passing classes and stuff like that, and because of the disjointed nature of this year, we had the Omicron variant in December and January. So many people had to be absent. Really, the Regents exams are just a baseline. We're back to square one. Whatever we do is what we do, and then we try to get better. So I don't want the message to anyone, to teachers, to students, to parents, to be, oh my goodness, you have to get back to 100%. What's wrong with you? Come on, come with it. No, we're all having difficulty. We're going to get back there, and you get back there by one day at a time, doing what you have to do, but not really worrying about what the actual result is. It's all about process goals. You want to do the right thing every day, but the product that will take whatever we have. I'm just very, very grateful to the students, the parents at Lincoln. I think I say this all the time. Our statistics regarding school incidents, regarding bullying, regarding fights are incredibly low. They're lower than they were before the pandemic. And other schools have had a lot of difficulty welcoming people back, getting people reintegrated into sort of the rules of school and socialization. Our students, our teachers, our deans, our social workers have really worked hard together to make sure everything works. And so Lincoln remains, by and large, a safe and a comfortable school. And I say by and large because when there is a problem, I want to know about it. We want to deal about it. So I don't want to be so naive as to say, oh, things are great, things are great. No, things are good, things can be better. I am very happy, but I could be happier. And that's the way I want it to stay. So I'd be happy to take any questions or comments. Questions I answer, comments I write down, because it really helps make Lincoln a better school and me a better principal.
The floor is open to questions. Sounds like Mr. Hoogenboom, you're getting off easy tonight.
I'm getting off very easy. I don't
Too
know.
easy. I
I
don't
think
like
some
this.
of you have started the vacation early. Yes.
Sending some softball questions then, huh?
Well, as I always rave at the President Council, I want to thank you and your team as always for keeping our children safe and keeping them well educated. I appreciate the time, and you please enjoy the rest of your vacation. Hopefully it started an hour ago, and I appreciate your time this evening.
Okay. And
no further questions. Go ahead.
Well, and first of all, thank you to both Lena and Michael for coming to the PTA meeting, even though our vacation, is starting today. And I want to wish, and everyone who celebrates Good Friday and Easter a very happy time. Everyone who celebrates Passover, a wonderful holiday. And everyone who is fasting for Ramadan, a wonderful, rest of Ramadan. And please email me if anyone has any questions, any concerns. I'm a little bit lazy during vacation, but I always do look at my email.
Thank you very much. And I'll try my very best to end this meeting on time, if not earlier, so that they can start their vacation.
Thank you. The PTA is always wonderful. Right. And I think
you.
Mr. Robinson is planning on driving up to Maine tonight because he's a maniac.
He deserves the break.
I told him he should sleep. He should sleep tonight and maybe drive up tomorrow. But no, he's hardcore. So I hope he's already on the road.
I hope so too, and he has a safe travel. All right, well, you enjoy your vacation.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, everyone, we're going to move on to the next slide. So the next slide, unfortunately, there was a miscommunication. I apologize. We have a Mr. Angel Cruz, who's a program coordinator for the NYU Lango Health Center. If anybody's interested, here's his information. Sorry, the main thing is that students must be registered with the health center at the school. If you're not sure whether or not they've been registered, you can always contact them. Miss Sandor, the QR code has the contact information?
No, it's to register your child.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to the next slide. Treasury report, go right ahead.
Treasury report. Okay, so the treasury report is a little interesting. This month we started with a balance of $1,577.72. We had 2 reimbursements for some events that took place a month or 2 ago. Food pantry totaling $253.63. In terms of revenue, we actually did 2 cents in interest, of course. There were several contributions that were made in the previous month. Thank you to those individuals who thoughtfully contributed. Those contributions, for some reasons, and I'll take the responsibility myself, they actually showed up after the monthly close, and so they are not reflected in the March meeting, but about $200 in donations will be reflected in the April meeting. Again, that was nothing more than just an error on the co-treasurer's part, and that would be me. Our ending balance, $1,324.11. Other pieces of information relevant for the treasurer's report. You may have heard me say in past meetings about COVID vaccine bonuses that were supposed to have been paid out in March and or April, is now April. We have not yet received those funds and have reached out to the COVID program City of New York for an explanation and information whether we are receiving any, because whether we haven't received any funds because we weren't given any credit, or if just some other error or mistake. But at this point, unfortunately, we have not yet seen any of the promised COVID vaccine bonuses. We'll also talk a little bit later when we get to the attendance committee about PTA support as well for the attendance committee and their flippin' Fridays and that sort of thing. But those are also not yet reflected in the March meeting. We had spoken in previous meetings about wristbands, and the PTA had pledged some support for wristbands, and the school had decided to go ahead and fund the wristbands themselves. So we are going with Plan B, which we'll talk about in a little bit once we get to attendance committee. Any other questions about the treasurer's report? I'm happy to answer them all.
All right, nothing heard. Before we move on to the next slide, what I forgot to go and put out there was we put together a fundraising committee.
Yes.
And Ms. Brown, would you be kind enough to explain the meeting that we had the other day with the two individuals?
Yes, we had a great meeting. Well, we had a meeting with well, Abraham Lincoln is trying to start up a fundraising committee, which will start next this coming school year, and ran by the parents, of course, under the leadership of the PTA, where different ideas come together, as far as fundraising for doing this, that, whatever. So the two people that stepped up to the plate as the chairperson is Miss Malcousu, who's on right now. And then we have the co-chair as Miss Meadows. And what the fundraising committee is doing, they may have like a meeting or two right now to just try to brainstorm some ideas, but they're also looking for more parent volunteers to join in, to help out, to give different ideas, because more thoughts, things work in numbers. So if we have more parents that can just chime in, volunteer, send your email out to the PTA and let them know you want to find out what its involvement is, or whatever the case may be. I'm sure we'll be open to another meeting just to let you know, or you can just keep this open in mind for next year. So I think it'll be great. It'll be awesome. They already have some great ideas out there. Just got to get them all started. So if any other parent is interested, please don't hesitate. Email the PTA, or you can put your email address in the chat, and we'll definitely follow up. And it doesn't take out most of your time. It's not a full-time job, obviously, but it's all for the kids. And this is what we volunteer to do. And it's all, so just let us know.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next side is going to be Teacher's Corner. Oh, before Teacher's Corner, please, if anybody is interested to assist with the fundraising committee, please email us. We'll forward the contact information to the team, and they'll get with you on how they'll be having their meetings. Our somebody.
Hello, everyone.
Did you get your someone?
No, because my someone is driving up to Maine. So I couldn't get in touch. I didn't know he was driving up to Maine today. So great times. All right. Hi, everyone. So just want to fill you in on what's going on with Teacher Corner. So first off, to piggyback off of what happened last month and what's going on now, we had our successful SAT day. That was done very well. We had about, I think about 40 freshmen. We had all of the 10th grade and then all the 11th grade show up. And it was a good showing. Let's hope the results are good as well. It'll be interesting to see when the results come back, how everyone did. We had done as Mr. Hoogenboom acknowledged, we extended the marking period to Monday, the 25th. So any students who need to complete any final work before the marking period ends, because now has the opportunity to work on that during the break. We also have going on right now. We have a lot of our sports is going on right now, and we're having some spectators come now, which has been good. We're having our baseball, we're having our volleyball, and we're also doing track as well. So everything is going very well, and also softball too. So if anyone can come out to the events, usually the baseball is like twice a week. We do them. We also stream them live through YouTube from the Lincoln Media. And as far as anything new coming up, nothing too major yet. I know that June is fast approaching, and June is going to be a very busy month for us with Regents. It's looking more and more that Regents is going to happen, and we have to start preparing for that scenario coming up. And then also we have senior with the prom, and we also have I believe getting ready for graduation as well. And I know that Mr. Molina is frantically working right now on the yearbook. So he told me that recently. So I know that is going on right now. But I see Miss Tiffany has a question. So I'd be more than happy to take it. Hi, Miss Tiffany.
Hi, good evening. Hi,
evening.
everyone. I just had a question about regents. I know you did bring it up. The regents are taken in June. Would there be a second opportunity before September for kids to take the regents if they missed the June?
Great question. Yes, there should be an opportunity. Traditionally, the regents are given 3 times. They're given in January, June, and August. My assumption is that if they are giving it in June, then they would do it again in August. And when they usually do it is near the end of summer school. So whenever the summer school is a 6-week program, so usually they give it towards the end. I can look it up on my side right now. Hang on, I don't know why I can't get out. Give me 1 second. Trying to see how to get out of this. Change my view. Full screen. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to hit escape, and for some reason it didn't allow me. Let me just see if they have a dates for the August regents, if there's anything posted yet, because I want to make sure I answer your question correctly. Of course, my internet is running slow, but yes. Okay, so they do have an exam schedule. Yes. So the August regents is given. Just loves taking its sweet time. I don't know why my internet is running slow, but my Zoom looks great. Here we go. August 16th and August 17th. So it will happen during that time. Now, mind you, okay, if and I'm going to address also the question because I see a question posted, so I'll talk about that. I'll answer all these questions. So I'm going to address the question about the June regents. Okay, so if a student fails the June regents, will they have to take summer school in order to take the regents in August? Okay, the only time that a student does summer school is if they fail a class. So if they fail a class, then they have to make it up during summer school. If they already get the credit for the fall and spring semester for a class that has a regents and they fail it, then they don't have to make up the class because they already got the credit. So only summer school is for if you have to make up a credit. But so that's how that works. So if you fail it, you retake it in August. Now, let's say for argument's sake, you're taking the algebra regents and you're in 9th grade and you fail it in June, and then you have to retake it in August, and then you fail it in August. You will have to retake the course in 10th grade. So I just want to acknowledge that specific caveat that some courses, if you fail it, you will have to retake the course in the next year. That's just something just to point out to everyone. Okay. Sports are live streamed. Yes, they are. We haven't live streamed volleyball, but I know definitely baseball and softball are live streamed, and they're live streamed through Lincoln Media. And then as far as the question, before I ask this big question, because I was seeing, when and how are PSAT, SAT results be provided? They're done through the guidance counselor, but also with the college office. College office gets all the results, and then they give it out to the kids. So that's how they get that. And then Miss Brown, yearbook question. Okay.
I could ask it. It was just in regard to the yearbook question. Yearbook, you mentioned yearbook. So I was wondering, are the children rating the teachers as well? You know how the children do best dressed or whatever. And I'm like, I was just saying, I'm too old to remember if it happened when I was in high school. So I was like, I don't know if they're really doing that, but I just wanted to know if I know Mr. Molino's not on, but just curious if that was taking place. And if it was not, I wanted to know if he could incorporate that if it wasn't too late, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you from my from when I spoke to him about literally like this Monday, I know that he is very busy, to say the least. And I think they're in like almost the printing stages right now. So unfortunately, that could be something we could add to the new year, but not towards now. Sadly, Ms. Brown. Yes, what if you passed all your general regents and you're in a class that the regents will go towards a regents diploma, and you don't pass that regents but has enough credit for a regular regents? Is that okay to fail? Yes. Yes. You just need five. You need 5 regents to get the regular regents diploma. 1 math, 1 science, both US and global history, and ELA. Anything else goes towards the advanced regents diploma. Advanced regents diploma is all the math, so that's geometry and algebra 2, all the science, which is chemistry and physics, I believe. But I don't know if we offer physics, so I think it's just chemistry. I think they might have adjusted it to just 2. And then I believe also language, like Spanish. So that's an advanced regents diploma. I think you have, for advanced regents diploma, it's like, I think it has to add up to like 7 or 8. That's how that works. So yeah, if you fail that, that's not going to hurt you because you already have your regents credit or the waiver. So like if you're a student, if you have a child in 10th grade and they're taking geometry right now, and they fail the geometry regents, it's not the end of the world because they already have their waiver for the algebra regents. They'll move right into algebra 2, okay, in the following year. And PTA, are there any questions? Okay.
No, I don't see anything in the chat. But you'll be sticking on a little bit longer, correct?
Yeah, I got nothing better to do.
Yes. Awesome.
All
right.
Oh, I have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
please.
I was writing. So when you had said about it didn't matter if you failed one of the regents and then you retook it in August, and if you failed that one, then for certain classes you would have to retake the class. Is that the like 5 required regent classes that you were talking about? The algebra, the US history, etc.?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The math and living environment automatically math and living environment, algebra and living environment are musts at Lincoln. So if you fail those 2 in 9th grade and you don't pass it the second time around in August, then you'll be in a course in your next year where you'll be building up to take the regents then in January. Whereas if you're in US history or global history and you fail that regents, unfortunately, you can't retake the course because you need 8 credits of history. So you're automatically going to be moved into the next like section of history. So like if you fail like global, you're going to retake global in the global regents in August or January, wherever, until you pass, but you're still going to move on to the next history. So that's the only like caveat in terms of that. History is the only one where there's no flexibility. It's literally, you pass or fail, and if you fail, you're moving right on to the next subject, but you still have to pass the regents, if that makes sense. And yes, so my son has algebra, geometry, living environment, or science in 10th grade, chemistry, algebra 2. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Miss Meadows, he's on point to get the advanced regents diploma. He's adding everything up. He's gonna have if he passes chemistry, he'll have 3 science, he'll have 3 math, and then he needs both of his global. He needs his both his global, US history, ELA, and then you need a Spanish. You need like a foreign language, I believe, as well. And then I think you're good to go.
Okay. I think I can say it now. If there's nothing else, we're gonna move on to the next slide. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Capizzo. Secretary report, please.
There's not much to report other than the approved bylaws that we approved last month, we have now been posted to the website. So you can find them there.
And again, awesome job to you and your team. Thank you. Next slide. Attendance committee.
So I mentioned earlier that PTA has been participating in the attendance committee for the last several months. And we are definitely supporting all the initiatives to get attendance up at Lincoln. The attendance committee has been focusing on Friday attendance, of course, flipping Fridays, and again through the school wristband initiatives has been going on quite successfully. As I mentioned in the treasurer's report, the PTA had committed funds for the wristbands. However, the school, due to time constraints, had to go and do it ourselves. So we are, again, we the PTA still want to make sure that we support the school attendance committee, and we are going to look to purchase gift cards for Dunkin' Donuts to be given away during the Flippin' Fridays attendance initiative. Principal mentioned that there was some raffles today as well. So yeah, so we are definitely looking forward to contributing on that. I see there's some questions from the group.
No questions? Okay, moving on to the, oh wait, I'm sorry, hold on, there is a question. Miss Tiffany?
Hi, I just wanted to know, and I know I asked last month, are there any statistics to see the improvement of attendance since this initiative started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the attendance committee, what is presented there is student level data on a daily basis, and it's probably about 20 to 25 people, both faculty, staff, teachers, school counselors, Mr. Robinson as well. And that group meets monthly, reviews data as well. And I don't know how public the attendance data is. That's a question I think for Mr. Robinson and maybe for Ms. Jabril as well. And in terms of, is it going to, how successful the initiative is.
Ms.
I mean,
Sandor,
I'll speak from a teacher perspective that the attendance
well,
has increased.
hold on one second, Mr. Capizzo. I think Ms. Jabril was going to say something.
Sure.
No? Okay. Mr.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
to answer that question, from the last time I checked, I know attendance has increased. If I'm not mistaken, it's at 4%, like it increased 4% since we started the initiative. But then I can get the data from Mr. Robinson and follow up on that question.
All right, Mr. Capizzo and then Ms. Sandor.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that from a teacher perspective, there has been definitely an increase in the Friday attendance. Students are definitely loving the wristbands. I got to tell you, they're like collecting them like they're Pokemon cards for some reason. So they're getting a real kick out of it, and they're getting a real kick out of like having like collector wristbands, like, oh, I get this or I get that. So it's generating a buzz, and more students are like coming to school. So there's definitely been like an increase in like attendance right now.
Ms. Sandor?
I just wanted to point out that in the newsletter that was posted, I'm trying to get the date, I'm on the website right now, April 11th, they say that Flippin' Friday attendance letters and wristbands are distributed. We have increased Friday attendance by 4% since starting the Flipping Friday and attendance initiative. Now, I don't know about whether it seems like that's just Friday, but that's what they posted on the newsletter.
Okay, and Mr. Sander, I
Yep.
believe there's a question
In the
in the
chat.
chat.
Is it only
Is
wristbands?
it, go ahead.
Yeah, is it only wristbands issue or is it each month? Yeah, so I think Mr. Brill can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's different types of wristbands each month. And then as we get into April and May, looking to do these, to raffle off some gift cards as a reward as well. Although the wristbands are for each student, and the gift cards are for eligible students is my understanding. But Mr. Brill or Mr. Capizzo can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're giving out different wristbands every month to represent like the higher tier the students are reaching. We are doing raffles. We did raffles today for students who had 90% attendance. There were some raffles, some got basketballs, footballs, headphones. So a good number of students won that today for 90% attendance rate.
Nice. That's very good to know. Ms. Sander, do you have another question?
No, sorry, I'll put it down.
Thank you. All right, so if there's no more questions about the attendance committee, great job. Mr. Sander and Mr. Jones are the two representatives that attend this committee. So I appreciate that your attendance as well as your understanding on the sensitivity of some of that information. So if there's no further questions, we'll go on to the next slide. We have the Title I. So last night there was a workshop and I would like to know who's on other than Ms. Jabril. So I get, is Ms. Jones on? If she has time to talk, otherwise I'll ask Ms. Jabril. No, okay, Ms. Jabril, can you speak about the Title I presentation last night?
Yeah, so yesterday we spoke about our SEL program. Mr. Robinson spoke about all the many different programs that we have, the Lincoln Somebody, the Lincoln Crew, social emotional learning. We talked about, I believe, the clinic, social workers, guidance counselors, and all the help that students have to reach out. He also discussed some of our data for social emotional learning. We talked about how students are, how students are seen with the teachers and how teachers evaluate students with 5 questions, which is the DASA questions. And then how they're asked about their feelings and what they like to talk about. Yeah, that's pretty much what we talked about inside of one meeting. And about our names.
It was great information. If we're able to get the slides or at least a portion of the hot topic slides that were discussed so we can share it. I know Mr. Robinson was probably rushing out to head out for vacation. So if you could just put a note for when you guys return to see what portions of those slides could be shared, because it would be great information.
Yeah, sure, I can ask them.
Okay, one of the key points that they brought out last night was the comparison of Lincoln students to other schools in the district, correct? Mr. Brill?
Yes.
Okay, and it was pretty much on point with the fact that in social emotional learning, it was a low ratio of what, 13–14% of needing additional education.
I can actually look that up for you right now.
Okay.
I can give you the exact numbers.
But it was quite interesting that Lincoln is right on target with the rest of the district, and it's a pretty low number, surprisingly. Everything else was averaged out as being right on target at about a 68–70%, which in comparison to the rest of the district is not that bad.
Yeah, our students were at 14% that needed help. 68% were typical and 18% were on strength, compared to 14%, also 14%. Sorry, I mixed up. Yeah, it was the same. The need help was the same for both cases, like Brooklyn South and our students. However, our students were 1% higher at being typical and about the same with the strength. We did notice an increase in our seniors, that they had 20% strength, 72% typical, and only 9% need help for instruction.
So that was great information. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next slide. I believe it is, yes, Ms. Brown. Have at it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so at this time, I did assign numbers to different parents' names. Someone dropped off, so I'm going to, Mr. Sandor, I'm going to skip the one that I told you that we may have to drop off. 11.
And I understand that Miss Meadows is joined, so well.
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, I don't know where they went, but they're gone. Okay, so everyone, every parent can see their number. I'll just say it out loud just in case you're doing something else. Miss Sutton, your number is 5. Miss Nestor, number 6. Gomes, number is 7. Malcousu, excuse me, number is 8. Hutchinson, number is 9. Marcellus, number is 10. Meadows, number is 12.
So
So
well, we're missing or we're ready to spin?
we're ready to spend, and they say,
All right,
whoever, I'm sorry, Mr. Sam, whoever didn't hear the Easter basket, it's actually a basket with actually a huge egg full of candies, chocolates, and so forth. And there's some hand sanitizers, some mist spray, and some lotion, all from Bath and Body. Yeah, Bath and Body Works. Listen, be nice. I had my son pick it out, so he really worked extra hard picking this stuff out for me in the mall.
And they'll have to wait until school opens back up the following Monday.
Right. So I did, normally we would have you to open back up, but I did throw the idea out there. Is it okay to say the idea, Ms. Scott? The
Yes,
idea
go right ahead.
Right. The idea I had, parents, was if you wanted your basket beforehand, I'm open to probably travel to bring it to you or meet you halfway or something like that over the weekend, because it will be Easter and it's chocolate. Yet, if you want to wait, the basket will be there at the school for the pickup the week of the 25th, and it'll be in a cellophane bag with the bow, and hopefully, more than likely to be fine. So it's your call. We can discuss it.
Why wouldn't any parent want to join this PTA board? I mean, that right there.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Pretty much so. So with that, Mr. Sandor, it's on you.
All right. All right. Okay, here we go.
Miss Marcellus, number 10. Marcellus, are you on the line still? Or on the line? Look, we're on the phone, on the Zoom.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, just making sure. Well, congratulations, you won a basket.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
So do I plan it now or later to when to pick it up?
I'll be sending an email out to you shortly after the meeting, and I'll be CCing Ms. Brown as well as Ms. Jabril, so we can go and work that all out. Ms. Jabril probably will not be responding until after the holiday because I want her to have a vacation.
Right.
But between me, Ms. Brown, and I, we will definitely get that going.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You want to get one more out the way, Ms. Scott? Sure. All right, Mr. Sandor, it's on you.
Hold on one second. Ms. Nika, I just want to make sure the email that you register with is the good email to be sending the email to.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That leaves, go back here. Okay. right, and we're spinning the wheel one more time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, and so number 10 is no longer included. All right, here we go.
Miss Sutton. Miss Sutton, are you still on the line?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Same with you, like Miss Scott just explained to Miss Marcellus. If that's the correct email, let us know so she can, reach out to you via email.
Yes, it's the same email, the correct one.
Okay, great.
Excellent, thank you. And to both of you, if for some reason you don't get an email from me, because I will be sending it out, just message us on Facebook or send us an email. I'll put it in the chat, but it's within 2 hours of this meeting ending, you'll get something from me.
Okay, no problem.
It'll
Thank
be
you.
from my Abraham Lincoln email account.
Okay.
And we'll move on.
Just give me one moment. I just want to
Yep.
write down her email address.
Yep, and I'm just going to switch screens for 1 second. So we'll go back here. Okay. Still haven't figured out how to get to the slide to the right page on the way back. There we go. Thank you.
Excellent. Congratulations to our winners. Thank you very much. And again, like I said, you'll be getting an email within the 2 hours after this meeting ending. This meeting ends. All right, moving on. New business. Next slide. All right, what we got going on next month is election. So every year we have an election for the following term of people coming on to the executive board. The terms usually go from July, not usually, the terms go from July 1st to June 30th of the following year. So after the elections, you'll be seating right with the whatever person that you'll be elected with. There is transfer of documentation, electronic as well as possible hard copies. There'll have to be a meeting at the school so that we can introduce you in person to the principal as well as the parent coordinator. We'll also have to make a trip together over to the bank, whoever needs to go and be part of the bank signatures. We need at least 3 people of the executive board to be on it. We try very hard to get the entire team on, but we definitely need the 3, which is both the treasurers as well as the president. So on here is a listing of, we'll go through each slide very slowly, of what each position is going up for. So we have the president or co-president. We always try to get at least 2 people for co-president so we can go back and forth, whether it be for running a meeting, to be on the president committee, or just to cover down if for some reason one of you needs to step to the side for whatever reason. For the president, you of course preside on all meetings. You serve as I always have a hard time pronouncing this, ex officio member of all committees. You appoint association committee chair people. You hold quarterly meetings with the principal. You may be responsible for the PTA email account. Encourage meaningful participation in all parent and school activities. You delegate responsibility to members of the association, provide opportunities for member leadership, and the list goes on. Trying very hard not to read word for word. The next thing is vice president. Vice president, we only have 1 person, and that's simply because we already have 2 co-chair presidents. So we only need 1 vice president, excuse me. And they basically cover down if for some reason both chair people are not able to attend or unavailable for whatever reason. During the time frame that I've had both co-chair as well as the vice president, That basically is what I call as my presidential team. So everything that goes on, whether I'm involved or have interaction with personnel or with parents or with the school, I always include the both of them. All right, next slide. And I'll ask for questions in a few moments. I just want to read through everything. Then you have the recording secretary, and I'm just going to read the top 4 items. You record the minutes at all association meetings. You prepare the notices, agendas, sign-in sheets, and materials. You prepare and read the minutes of the association, and you distribute copies, either electronic or hard copy of the minutes to all to review. Now, with this, we also have the virtual aspect of it. So that can be a little tricky when it comes to electronic and hard copy, but more to explain if you have any questions or concerns. Also, one thing I just read is that you can also serve as one of the signatures on the PTA bank account. Moving on, we have the treasurer. So both treasurers would definitely be on the bank account. You're responsible for all financial affairs and funds for the association. Maintain an updated record of all income and everything that's spent. Serve as, read that already, and may be responsible for setting up online access to the bank account. Thankfully, I am very happy. Give me one moment on answering that question. I'm very happy to say that we already have a bank account established, which is at the Commerce Credit Union. And the one great thing about them is they don't charge us on a monthly basis. Our previous bank account was charging us $20, which was killing us during COVID because we couldn't even get into the bank to be able to do anything to prevent that. So we lost at least over $100 because they kept hitting us up every month for every month $20. All right, next slide. And then we also have the corresponding secretary. These duties can kind of coincide with also the recording secretary. So they're due to send out proper notices to all called meetings. They'll conduct the correspondence of the PTA except as otherwise provided. They'll do follow-up communications. And they also will have access to our PTA email. Before I go on and ask if anybody else has other questions, I just want to answer what's in the chat. Question is, if you are on a committee, can you also hold an executive member position? Yes, you may. A lot of people are able to be on the executive board as well as run a position. Okay. Does that mean, Miss Tiffany, I can count you in as president?
I knew you was gonna do that, Miss Scott.
I'm still trying. I'm still trying.
Right this way, ma'am. Right this way. Open arms.
We're always welcome to go and bring in new blood. And trust me, I will not be offended if anyone decides I am not worthy enough to continue on for next year. I will still be there to support and help all the way through. And if I am called back in, by all means, I will work alongside the other person and have them as primary and myself as secondary to assist. So no matter where we are, we will make this work. I think the hardest part of this president being on the president was during COVID because nobody knew what was going on. Right now, everything else is a piece of cake. We'll go through the slides one more time. I'll just have you read each one to yourselves. So if you can go back 2 slides, Mr. Sandor, and I'll give everyone at least 2 to 3 minutes on each slide to review it. And if you have any questions, please ask them. Yes, Ms. Sandor.
I just want to mention that Miss Hawley, I believe, had sent out, along with the invite to the meeting, I think she sent out this text of the duties that that outlined everything. So everybody should have that with their invite. Is that correct, Miss Hawley?
Yep, I sent it as an attachment, a Word document.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. And I'll also look to try and to post that over the weekend for everyone to review. Thank you for going to the next slide. Just hold that for another minute. Also, we'll be sending out the flyers of the election board. Of course, you'll have to register ahead of time. There is a two-part registration on this, though. In order for you to vote and in order for you to be on the election ballot, you must register with the school in order to get a PIN. If you don't have a PIN at day of the election, you will not be able to vote, nor will you be able to be on the election ballot. There will be two links. One will be a link that will go directly to the school. They'll ask some questions. First name, last name of your child, their OSIS number, what your name is, and what your email address is. That information goes directly to the school. We have no viewing rights to it. The school will then respond about a day or two before our meeting with a PIN number. That number, when you come on, will Mr. Brill will have an explanation on how to sign in with the with that particular PIN number. The other link will be registration to our actual meeting, and that will come to us, but you'll automatically get the registration email. So remember, you'll get one registration email from the Abraham Lincoln website like you usually do. I'm sorry, portal like you usually do. And then the second one will be the PIN from the school. Did I confuse anyone? All right, moving on to the next and final slide. Also, the election, though the executive board is on it, at that moment when the election is going on, we all step down from our positions at that moment, whether either to be put onto the ballot or to step away just to watch what's going on. We will have a representative take the minutes for that time frame, as well as having a school-based liaison from the FACE committee, of which they will actually run just the election portion. And though the meeting is held, though the election is going to be held during our meeting time, the election will be within the first 45 minutes of our meeting. So you want to make sure that this is the one meeting you don't want to be late for. I have my awesome Miss Alston, who has so graciously stepped in as our nominating committee. So Miss Alston, she did this last year. She'll reach out to some people that we have already given her some names for, of who may have shown an interest, Miss Tiffany, to be part of the executive board, Mr. Sandor, for next year. So if you get a personal email from her, it's okay. We've told her to please reach out to you, Miss Meadows, and see whether or not you'd like to take a position. The reason we do that is so that we can already try to have those ballots set up ahead of time. Because what happens is, what really takes the longest during these meetings, during the election, is setting up the ballots for the polls. If we can try to have that done already, we don't have to, but if we can try to have the ballots already pre-made ahead of time, then the meeting will go by a lot quicker. All right, if there are no questions, Ms. Alston, do you want to say anything? Or at least just say hi?
Hi everyone, good evening. I am Leticia Alston, and that's it. I don't really have much to say. I think you said pretty much all that needs to be said. I'll be reaching out to anyone who's interested, who may have expressed interest within the next couple of weeks.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And of course, if anyone's interested, you can always email us and let us know, hey, I'm interested. whether you know what position you want more information on a position, or you just want to throw your hat in. Not only are we doing the executive board committee, but we're also doing six positions for the SLT committee as well. What's not going to be voted on is the Title I. Title I will be doing in September, October of next year. School year, excuse me.
If anyone has any interest in helping out, there's definitely a position or more than one position for you, for sure.
And if the executive board and SLT is not quite what you want, but you want to help anyways, by all means, let us know. We're constantly putting up committees together, or maybe there's a committee that's already there, and we'll talk you through it and link you up with one of the committees.
I also want to acknowledge that this was recorded. So Ms. Scott, every single bribery that you might have been instilling there was also recorded for everyone to notice. But anyway, yes, we
You
would
scared me.
love-
I thought I cursed for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, did I curse?
Just want to point that out, that this is recording. But anyway, also want to acknowledge that it would be great to always have some new faces, and always be willing to see new perspectives for our school to make it better as well. For doing PTA now for the last 4 years, and I believe 4 years, it's just been great to always see new perspectives and new inputs to build up the relationship between parents and teachers. So we are always welcome for new people to be a part of us.
And what's great, other than Mr. Capizzo saying that the current executive board is old, is that we've done some pretty great things. We've definitely straightened the partnership up with the school. Thank you very much.
I wasn't going to say old. I was saying that it's good. I'm saying we need more goodness. Come on now.
We've also gone through 2 bylaws. One, because it just took a while for the first bylaw to be done. And then the second time was because we were required to get it changed when they changed the A660. We also were able to go and have 4 fundraisers or 3 fundraising in the last 2 years with COVID. It's 3 or 4, I'm not sure. Very small fundraising, but big enough. We've also been able to switch out our bank accounts to a much improved banking system. Gosh, we've done so much, but I can't remember. I'm so sorry. And it's been great networking. I mean, we work together. There's been a lot of times that being on the executive board as well as the SLT, you get to see a different perspective of the school, and you get to understand what's going on. And yes, student recognition awards. Yes, we also partake in student recognition awards at the end of the year. And we actually increased it. Instead of having 2 awards just for seniors, we have 2 awards for each grade. But going back on track, I have to say I've opened my eyes to the education system and understand where the teachers and the administration is coming from. And it is, Mr. Capizzo definitely has explained so much that I really did not realize, and I wish I was part of this type of committee years previously. But it's been a lot of fun. I look forward to hearing who else is going to try to please join our executive board. We have at least 1 person stepping down, because I think everyone else is 9th, 10th, and 11th. Yes, Ms. Brown, I see you all excited. All right, so if there's no, yes, is the fundraising committee an extension of the executive board? Not quite an extension, it's an entity of the executive board, so that we can have a group of people outside of the executive board being able to explain things. So every time I put a committee together, I usually try to have at least 1 executive board member either leading it or overseeing it, so that there's guidance and a say as to what's going on. And not that they would change the positioning of where that team wants to go, but they'll provide some guidance as to whether or not where they're going is good, bad, or that they have to hold off until we get further guidance from the school. Because a lot of the committees, even though it's our say, we still have to validate with the school that the direction we're going is good. For example, with the fundraising committee, there's some ideas that have come up that we need to validate. One of them being perhaps having photography sessions where we could incorporate the school's photography team on. There's still some things going back and forth on whether or not it can be fully successful where we can incorporate both sides. That's something where we would incorporate the school, the PTA, as well as the primary board for the fundraising committee. She ain't going that far. I can assure you, Ms. Brown thinks she's leaving, but she's still going to be called back. All right. If there's no questions, and if someone on the executive board, if you could just please take your time to. Yes, Ms. Brown. If you could, somebody on the executive board can just input our email address real quick, please. And if anybody has any questions, just shoot an email to us and one of us will definitely get back to you. All right, next slide. Oh, look at that. I get to take a break of talking because I get tired of hearing myself sometimes, believe it or not. So I'm going to step to the side and Ms. Brown, you do your power.
Hang on one second here while I shift back to the picker wheel.
Wait, Mr. Sandor, please check the chat. Check the message I sent you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So some new parents are here, so that's wonderful. All right. Let's see here.
And just let me while you're doing that, the new parents that joined, we're having a Abraham Lincoln High School PTA giveaway. It's Easter baskets. It's actually an Easter basket with a huge egg that is full of chocolates and some items, some travel items for your bag from Bath and Body Works. And I was explaining to everyone that the Bath and Body Works items were picked out by my son. So I'm teaching him how to buy nice gifts for young ladies, of course. And obviously none of them match, but yet and still they all smell good to him.
So so for our third one, we of course have, for those of you who have come in just late, we have had two winners already. Those two winners, of course, are ineligible for the third. Ms. Brown, is there anyone I've missed? I've added number 13 and 14.
Nope, I think that's it. 13 is Nicholas and 14 is Barrett. I don't think we missed anyone. Parents, if we missed you and you're not on this wheel, please let me know.
Stretch out and get ready for spinning the wheel.
Right. Do 5 push-ups and
Exactly. Yeah.
But whenever you're ready.
Don't hurt your index finger.
Okay. Switching already, Miss. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Perfect timing, I would say.
Right.
Perfect timing.
Nicholas, are you on the call still? I need Nicholas to respond. Are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here. I'm at work.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
just nodding. Thank you, guys.
And the email that you registered with, is that a good email address to send a notice to you to discuss how to pick up the item?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
One more for the road, Mrs. Sandor.
Oh my goodness. I was getting ready to go back to the slide, but I'm sorry. I just stopped that. Okay. Right. Okay. One more. This is awesome. All right. I'm ready when you are there, Ms. Brown. Say the word.
The
Go.
word.
All right. Word is go.
Go right ahead. All right, Nestor. Ms. Nestor, are you still on?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all. And like I stated earlier, there's Ms. Scott is asking, is that your email, Ms. Nestor? That's best to email you at to correspond in regard to that gift?
Yes.
The giveaway, excuse me. Okay, and I did offer, so we'll be discussing in an email, just so you're aware, parents, winners, is I'm offering to meet you or bring you the gift before the break, before, because the kids will be out to the 25th. So I'm offering to meet you. I we'll discuss that via email, just letting you know. Other than that, the gift can wait, the item can wait at the school until the 25th. They'll definitely be dropped off. And it's totally up to you. They're wrapped in cellophane with a nice bow. So there are no way they won't be messed up at all.
Is it true that accepting the gift does not mean you're nominated to be on the executive board?
Oh, that was gonna be yeah, no, I was already gonna pull them in.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Spoil it.
Once
Sorry.
they meet me, it's initiation immediately.
All right, just making sure. All right, let's let me get back to the slide deck for the last few slides.
Yep, last few slide. I'm actually gonna be power throughing this, so please forgive me. And Mr. Capizzo, if you're still on, I'll probably need some assistance on the calendar because I love it when you explain the calendar. So you got a minute.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, so right here is some additional helpful links. You have the school's website with a lot. I will tell you, they have done a phenomenal job in the past year and a half on getting that website up to par. We've actually sat with them several times to go in. There was some information that we wanted to go and see more of, and they've been doing a great job on actually listening to the parents. So thank you. There's also Pupil Path. You have the New York City Schools account, both of which have details on your students' current status of where they are in school, as well as their grades. Then you have some COVID information. You can also follow, and this is more towards the students, Instagram at ALHSBKLYN. And then for the parents, we have Facebook, and there's the link to get into our Facebook account. With the Facebook account, I try to go and lock it down to just the parents of the school. I don't have it open to the public. And I try very hard to monitor to see who's going on. If I haven't really seen somebody for a long time, because the school has no say in it. So whether or not I know whether that parent is still in the school is kind of hard. I do 5 years and it hasn't been 5 years for me. So I will pass on to whoever the next president is to let them know to please monitor that and I guess remove whoever's not on it after about 5 or 6 years. All right. If there's no questions or concerns, please move on. This right here is the New York City DOE school year calendar for 2021-2022. So that information is out on the DOE link. I don't believe we've had the 2022-2023 posted yet. Okay. Any word on the possibility of when, like April, May-ish, soon? Okay. Thank you. All right, next slide. This right here is our actual Abraham Lincoln High School school calendar, and this can be pulled from the Abraham Lincoln High School website. During our meetings, we just put up the 2 months, the current month we're in, plus the following month. Is there anything on here, Mr. Capizzo, that you would like to discuss or bring to point that maybe information isn't wrong? I mean, is wrong? My bad.
No. Everything is up to date. I was actually just investigating the ALHS website, and I thought maybe I share something with you guys that you may or may not know that they have posted there. So is there any way you can give me access to share my screen?
Definitely. Hold on. I'm making you co-host. And Mrs. Sandor, if you can just relinquish your rights for viewing and let him do his thing. There you go.
All right, so I'm just going to share my screen because Miss Scott, you have been asking me for a long time about tutoring, and I got a heads up for you guys. So here is our spring tutoring schedule. ELA, for the ELA regions, these are all of the dates. So pretty much they correspond to when the math is going on. It's pretty much, from what I'm seeing, it's every Saturday leading up into the regions. So they have ELA. ENL department is doing English as a new language, science, math, and history. So they're doing that for them. We got the algebra for algebra regions, not math, algebra. Okay, I just want to point that out. Social studies. So we got U.S. history and global regions that started up on the 2nd and the 9th, and is going to continue into May, going all the way through. We got science with the living environment tutoring going on here as well. And then we have AP environmental tutoring for the AP exam and AP psychology as well. And then we also have additional weekly science tutoring going on as well, listed here. So investigating our website, I found a nice calendar for you all. And I found this right on, if anyone needs to know where this is located, let me just move this so I can tell you exactly where I found this. So what I did was that I was literally right in, I'm just going to go back so I could show you. So I was in the actual Lincoln announcements. So like our school announcements, and that was what I just found was the LHS spring tutoring schedule. So it's right there, a PDF for you guys.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There
Other
is
than
one,
that, nothing. Yes.
there is one question. I know that you've already discussed it, but can you restate again about the PSAT?
Yes.
Any info about PSAT scores? Did they get posted today, tomorrow?
I don't have the answer to that question. Okay. But I know the PSAT scores are handled from the college office, as well as with the your child's guidance counselor will have that information. So you can definitely check with your guidance counselor first, and then if that definitely through the college office, because they get all the PSAT, SAT results. Ms. Sandor.
My son is telling me that they did get posted. Oh, they're on the College Board account. They're available. And I also did find the link of the tutoring schedule that you mentioned, and I put it in the chat. Hopefully that works for people. It looks like a giant link, but it is hopefully to the document on your website.
Yeah.
Now, for those who may not be aware, with the SATs, what's the importance of getting a high score, let alone what will happen if you get a low score?
Sure. So SATs, the big thing with SATs is that the higher the score that you have, the more a college will pay attention to you. It's not like they won't pay attention to you to begin with, but it just gives you like a stepping stone. Some colleges require you to be at this barometer to be looked at in a way. It's not like they won't reject you, but there's a certain criteria for some colleges. But also the reason why you want a high SAT score is because who doesn't want scholarships? The higher the SAT score gives more of an incentive for the colleges to want you to come to their school. So they'll give you half scholarships, full scholarships, which is always nice to not pay for college.
There's two more questions, Mr. Capizzo.
What is a passing score on the SAT? Okay, so it's been a while since I've taken the SAT. Back when I took the SAT, it was out of 1600.
There's really no passing score.
No.
Just a score.
Yeah, it's just, I guess if there's a score to like get at least 1,000, right? Around there, 1,000, 1,100. You know, the more you go higher than that, the better it is. ACT test. Not 100% certain about that. I can follow up. Kids do not have to register for tutoring. Just show up. Just show up. All right, and those dates are open. You know, it looks like a lot of the spring tutoring stuff is going to really kick off once we come back from break.
Mr. Capizzo, there's another question for you.
Yes, that's one of my students. I know who Miss Barrett is. Hi, Miss Barrett. So one of the things I do with Soraya is I actually have her like she notifies me. Like today, she notified me that she was missing class. So one of the things I'm going to do is when she comes back from break, I'll be giving her like her stuff for like what she missed in class. So then she has that going down. And there wasn't really anything for like assignments and stuff. If there is assignments, I would give it to her. And then, you know, before she leaves, but other than that, what she's had so far, she hasn't missed any work. No problem.
All right, Ms. Sandor, do you have any more questions?
Sorry.
Right. Mr. Sandor, next slide. Wow, I can't believe 2 more months.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. All right. So May, anything different? I see we have senior awards nights.
Yes.
Is there going to be, and a senior trip, is there going to be a athletes award night?
Usually they combine that with senior awards nights. I've known that they've done that. They've done that in the past when they usually combine it. They combine both senior and athletes awards night. I can follow up with Miss Ebed.
Okay.
And then, yeah, good.
Can you explain the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th for those who aren't familiar with some of that terminology?
Yeah, so the reason why your child is done with school around 12 o'clock is because we do professional development for the teachers incorporated in the school day. So they're done from 12:45 to 2:35. So we do, and those are like our professional developments that we do specifically. Just want to give everyone a heads up again. Just want to acknowledge the May 31st, okay? May 31st is the last day of the third marking period. So that day is not, so that's for the end of the third marking period. And then there's another 2-week grace period to make up for final grades. So like, you know, we take the average of the 3 marking periods, and then we give like those couple weeks to have students make up to increase their final overall grade. So same thing that we applied back in January, we'll do it also for June. Ms. Tiffany.
Hi, this question is actually from Ms. Scott. I'm looking at the first week in June where it says PTA meeting, and the one before that is the third week in May. Is that for the June meeting, it's that early?
Yes,
Okay.
because school ends so early in June. It was the only date, and at the time, they didn't have senior prom.
Okay.
Yes, so we may have to look at that, but I believe when we looked at the calendar the first time, that was like the only dates that was available because they have a couple of days off in June. Then there was Regents, and it was very complicated just to get a date going on in June.
Yeah, and also with the Regents happening in the middle of June, I know it's hard to schedule the PTA when the Regents is going on as well.
Yeah, and per our bylaws, we have to have a meeting in June, so hopefully that'll be a very short meeting. Probably it will because there's not much to talk about since it'll be the end of the school year, but we can at least discuss what's upcoming for that month and what to expect in September.
And there'll definitely be a giveaway. It's gonna be nice weather.
Ooh.
That is definitely good to know.
And Mr. Capizzo will be there.
Yes,
And that's
of
the reason
course.
you're right there.
I do want to acknowledge one added caveat that's not on the calendar. Because this, again, as I say, the Regents, as you know, is coming. If you didn't know that, you should know that. The reason why I say that is June 1st is actually a Regents Day. June 1st is the U.S. History Regents. It is for juniors. So before the pandemic, we had the history regencies were being revamped to incorporate more Common Core and all that kind of stuff. And Mr. Sandor, you probably know what I'm talking about here. There was a global framework that was given, and then they were supposed to do the U.S. history one, but because of COVID, that got canceled. Well, it's back. So June 1st is the U.S. history Regents. So I wanted to give everyone a heads up that because I heard from a colleague that like he's already counting down the days to how many teaching days are left, and he mentioned June 1st. So I wanted to highlight that to everyone here that the U.S. history Regents is June 1st, and if it's on the Regents calendar, it's gonna happen.
So then those days that you had for tutoring for both those history classes, it's really only the U.S. history side is going to have a whole month less.
Yeah, because I just literally looked at. I said to myself, I said, because I looked at the calendar, because this calendar when they made it, I'm sure it's not always updated quickly. And when I heard about the U.S. history, I said to myself, wait, I don't see it listed on this calendar. So I wanted to let everyone know that that is coming.
On a
Thank
side
you.
note, the reason why it's so early is because it's a new exam, and the state education department wants to give local school districts around the state more time to actually score the test, given that if you're a teacher and you've been scoring tests for years and years, you know what to do, but it's a new test, a new format. So they want to give teachers more time to score. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And then also another thing, if it's even though it's June, June 20th is a holiday. It's in June 20th is in observance of Juneteenth, June 18th. So there's no Regents that day scheduled. So nothing. It's literally a holiday. So I just wanted to give also you guys a heads up about. There's a lot of days that are kids are in the building, kids are not. So that's just something else that the Regents is sharing for you guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And of course, if you want update on the calendar, go to Abraham Lincoln High School website, and they're constantly updating the calendar. The only time I find that it's really delayed on the calendar is usually in September, because nobody really comes in until the first week of school starting. So they try their very best to update it, but if there's nobody in the school, it takes a little bit longer. But Ms. Jabril and her team has been doing a phenomenal job getting the calendar updated. And if there's anything missing within 48 hours of school time, it's usually updated. So thank you. All right, next slide. So with it being said that the kids now have until the 25th of April to get their last minute things in. If you're finding that you're not getting a response from any of your teachers and you want more guidance as to why the grades are low, by all means, you can go and email whatever the guidance counselor for that grade is. You also have the administration assistant principals. Now, mind you, everyone's pretty much out this week, so it may take a while for anyone to respond. But some of these teachers, as well as the assistant principals, feels like they're on 24/7 duty. Once in a while, you'll get someone who will respond. So just bear with them. All right, moving on to the next slide. Do we have any more giveaways or are we done?
We are done.
All right. So just a quick recap of our 4 winners. We have, hold on one second. There it goes. Miss Marcellus, Miss Sutton, Miss Nicholas, Miss Nestor. Congratulations on our 4 winners, and you'll be getting an email from me within 2 hours after this meeting ending. Next slide. Any questions, concerns, feedback? Tell me, run away. All right, I look forward to hearing from everybody in reference to the election. Our next meeting will be May 19th. Again, eligible members of the school, meaning you have to have a child in the school, parent or guardian, and you have to go, when the link goes out, there'll be 2 links on this one flyer. One link will be going directly to the school in order for you to get the pin. The other link will be so that you can register and receive the information to sign in on May 19th. That information will be out in the next day or 2. If there's no further questions, everyone enjoy the break. Enjoy time off. Teachers, thank you so much. Ms. Jabril, thank you so much for your time, and everyone have a great evening.
You're
And
welcome. Thank
team,
you,
we're
everybody.
good. You don't
Night.
have to stay on. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great
Thank you.
night.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.